Welcome back to Speak. Now, everybody loves ranking a list, and Patrick Mahomes is coming off his second Super Bowl and Super Bowl MVP. So it got us thinking, where in the world would we rank our quarterbacks going into next season? The season has concluded, and Pat Mahomes stands atop the list. But how about the rest of the quarterbacks in the top five going into next season? Well, as y'all know, number one, it's got to be Patrick Mahomes if I'm ranking QBs going into next season. But after Patrick Mahomes, it's very simple for me. Joe Burrow. He, too, has gone to a Super Bowl, and he's played at a consistently high level for the last 2 years. Number three is the person who just came off a Super Bowl, and we've seen him play at a high level, not as long as Joe Burrow, but a high level nonetheless. A second-team All-Pro in Jalen Hurts. Number four, Josh Allen. You cannot deny his talent. His talent is up there with anybody in the National Football League, but now he has to find a way to make his talent add up. At number five, lastly, rounding out my list, how about Lamar Jackson? When he is on the field, you could argue there is no player as dynamic as him. I got Patrick Mahomes. I got Joe Burrow. I got Jalen Hurts. I got Josh Allen. I got Lamar Jackson. And my first alternate, Deshaun Watson. I truly believe that the Cleveland Browns roster, the running backs, along with Amari Cooper, and if Deshaun Watson actually has a year with the organization, he will be back to playoff winning form. That is my top five list. As I come to the desk, Dave, you're raising an eyebrow, but you're not actually that upset.
Upset might not be the right word. I'm kind of floored by the first one out, honestly. I'm pretty shocked.
But my top five is, you're content with my top five?
I'm not going to talk trash on Lamar Jackson, but he's missed a lot of time over the last two seasons. I don't mind that one, but Deshaun Watson, man, like he's barely played the last 2 years, and when he did come back, he looked bad.
Like if you criticize my six, I'll take that.
It's been a long time since Deshaun Watson played good football.
Let me see your list then, Dave Helman. Where are you at?
All right, we don't need to spend too much. Well, we can. I mean, first two, fine. We're going to do Pat. We're going to do Joe. I got Josh Allen. Then I got Justin Herbert. And yes, Aaron Rodgers. Look, this is the conversation we've been having all week. Recency bias. Jalen Hurts. Can we have an honest conversation about this?
I will. I'd love to.
It's not crazy or disrespectful to have Jalen Hurts ranked 6th in the league, considering where he was when this season started. Like when this season started, I personally wasn't sure if he would be the Eagles' quarterback of the future. That he was considered the weak link of this team. That's not like wild to say. Like that was a pretty common consensus. And he played great. He was a second-team All-Pro, got into the Super Bowl, lost to Patrick Mahomes. You know what that sounds a lot like to me? It sounds like Josh Allen. Josh Allen's got one second-team All-Pro. No, of course he's never made it to a Super Bowl, but guess what? By virtue of playing in the AFC, he's got to play Patrick Mahomes sooner than Jalen Hurts does.
Doesn't it sound more like Joe Burrow? Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts are actually the quarterbacks, came into the league in the same year.
I disagree because
both went to a Super Bowl.
Joe Burrow has now played at an MVP-ish level for 2 straight years. That's all I'm saying with Jalen Hurts. This was a wonderful start. To be 6th in the league after your 3rd season and your first good season is not strange. Joe Burrow's done it twice. Josh Allen's been in the handful of best quarterbacks for 3 years now.
How can you look at the 18-game sample size that Jalen Hurts gave you last year, including a Super Bowl appearance? Look at the 17-game sample size that Aaron Rodgers gave you last year, including missing the playoffs to the Detroit Lions last game of the season. How can you look at both of those seasons and reasonably conclude that Aaron Rodgers, you would rather have him next year than Jalen Hurts?
I just look at it, there's more to it than one season. Like, again, I think recency bias is such a big deal. Obviously, Jalen Hurts had a much better season than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers won 2 MVPs than the seasons before that. Again, we did this yesterday, and you agree with me, by the way. We can't just assume Aaron Rodgers is bad now.
Of course not.
And in fact, he had a pretty good season. It just wasn't on Aaron Rodgers' level.
Before we move, I'm not assuming Aaron Rodgers, Will Blackmon's former teammate, is
I love
bad.
how Herbert hasn't even come into this conversation yet. Just saying.
But is Aaron Rodgers second-team All-Pro good? Because that's what Jalen Hurts was and is.
He's MVP good. He did it 2 years in a row. Like, we can't just forget that happened because this year was a step back. And this is the infuriating thing about ranking quarterbacks, and it's why I don't like to do it. You got to give Jalen Hurts credit for what he did. It's also okay to acknowledge that he had 2 top 10 receivers, the best offensive line in the game, and the best pass rush in the game. Aaron Rodgers didn't have that stuff. A lot of quarterbacks don't have that stuff. And that's why I want to see more. That's what I knew Joy was going to be mad at me.
No.
It's not a slight on Jalen Hurts to say that he's 6th. I don't know if I would have had him in the top 20 before the season started.
Fair. No further questions, Your Honor.
Saying.
Joy Taylor, where is your top 5?
Mine is the same as yours through 4. So Mahomes, Burrow, Hurts, Allen. At 5, I have Justin Herbert, and my first out is Lamar Jackson, only because of the injuries that he's dealt with at the end of the season. I would not have Aaron Rodgers near that. Patrick Mahomes happened to lose Tyreek Hill, and he is still at the top of that list.
Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. He's.
Oh, I mean, I'm just saying that they're good. Then there's a very big gap between Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes at this point. We can admit that.
Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
there's a gap between Patrick Mahomes and everybody, in my
Carmen
opinion.
Vitale wrote a very interesting article on FoxSports.com. You should go check out. Comparing.
She's smart.
She's very smart. That's where I got this today, so I'm going to give her credit. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes lost Tyreek Hill, won a league MVP, Super Bowl MVP in a Super Bowl, and Aaron Rodgers did not make the playoffs and lost to the Detroit Lions in his opportunity to do so.
He did do that.
Well, Blackmon.
So that's why he's not in my top 6.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right, my list is interesting, guys. Okay, so obviously number 1, number 2, right? We all agree.
Okay.
But number 3, I put Jalen Hurts at number 3.
Okay. With that.
Maybe perhaps I'm in the moment, but I just love everything that he epitomizes when it comes to a franchise quarterback. And I like him at number 3 and just coming off Super Bowl. I like Justin Herbert at 4, Aaron Rodgers at 5. I'm punishing Josh Allen. I'm punishing Josh Allen right now. Good buddy of mine. But when he talked about his elbow in the post game, that kind of.
You're not buying it? You're not buying it?
I buy it. But he looked good playing football.
Here's what I'm wondering, though. How in the world can you have Justin Herbert over Josh Allen? Like, Josh Allen has been a second-team MVP. He's been an All-Pro. He's been to the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's won playoff games.
This is my first out. Can I work my list?
Work it.
Yeah. This is my first list. My first out is Trevor Lawrence. He showed me a ton this year.
You got Trevi over Josh?
I got Trevor. Listen. My list is my list, okay? And it's interchangeable.
One thing about Will is this is my list.
Okay, this is interchangeable.
It's not interchangeable.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, that's how it is. This is what I like right now. Okay?
Right now.
My number 2, this is what I like right now.
I can't make sense of this. Dave Helman, you seem to be more convicted than Will.
I'm not convicted.
You're not convicted.
But I'm convicted.
Can I see Dave Helman's list one more time,
Yeah,
please?
throw it up there.
We let you slide.
Throw it up.
List one more time, please. Dave, there was a very peculiar name that I let you slide on because you also have Herbert ahead of Jalen Hurts. I truly can't make sense of it. You're one of the more rational, reasonable people I've worked with in my life. Elaborate on this, please.
Look, for better or for worse, there's different ways to view these things. I do not place winning on the same level that you enjoy do. Like, at the end of the day, I don't think wins are a quarterback stat, at least not purely. I just don't. Justin Herbert, and again, sample size is important. Justin Herbert has been awesome since he got in the league. Offensive Rookie of the Year. The Chargers' record has gotten better every year that he's been there. The big thing was
applies to Jalen Hurts.
Oh, okay. No, but the numbers are drastically different. Let's be real. I mean, you don't need me to go over all of the stuff we've gone over.
Where's your list again? Can they put your list up for us?
We'll get back to mine.
He's 3rd in the NFL in passing yards. He's 5th in total touchdowns. Most touchdowns and most yards through 3 years in history. 94 touchdowns to 35 interceptions. It's almost 3-1.
When does he have to win a playoff game for you to stop caring so much about the stats and care about the winning? Because you do care about winning a little.
I do care about winning. Okay, but again, he's clearly below 3 guys that have won in the playoffs.
Jalen Hurts won in the playoffs. Went to a Super Bowl.
I grade on a 2-year scale. I don't know what you want me to say.
For 2 years, he hasn't won a playoff game.
And Hurts went to the playoffs 2 years in a row.
Okay.
Got him in the corner.
You absolutely know 2021 Jalen Hurts was not the guy we saw this year.
No,
16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions.
I'll put Josh Allen at 4.
Will's been doing his own math over there. Will's been over here doing his own math.
Josh Allen 4.
Don't let us
Josh Allen 4.
changing it.
What do you mean? I respect your opinions.
Okay, that's fine.
Josh Allen at 4. I didn't even cut you all off. I'm just thinking out loud.
What's your updated list? Out loud, please, sir.
Okay, Mahomes 1, Burrow, Jalen, Josh, Aaron. Done.
And Herbert moved back to 6.
Herbert moved back to 6.
That makes sense to me.
See, we grade these things differently. Winning is important. I say this all the time. the way that I evaluate like how I feel about quarterbacks is if you're drafting playground style and you don't know anything about the rest of your team, you're starting with the quarterback and that's all you know, that's the order I would do it in. Right now, based on quarterback play, I would draft Justin Herbert over Jalen Hurts. I'm not saying Jalen Hurts can't continue to ascend. I think it's pretty damn good. Like I said, the guy jumped.
You are the problem with GMs today.
Why?
They're drafting just only on ability, not what they can do with the intangibles. Mentally.
I mean, Jalen Hurts is
You fell in love with the big arm. It's more than that.
I can't believe we live in a world where saying the guy is 6th best in the league is like seen as a slight, considering he wasn't on anybody's radar before the season started.
But you gotta update the resume.
He's 6th. That's really good.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.